Hey there, it's BitB, and welcome out to another BitB stream. Thanks for coming out. It is Saturday, and I am playing more Dual Destinies. Finally, after being gone for so long. Did I ever, apologize for that gigantic break? I probably did, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that again. I missed this, but, I haven't felt up to it. I didn't feel like screaming at the top of my lungs into a microphone. But no, where we last left off, just as a refresher, we were going through the trial where the bombing apparently happened. So now we have a little bit more context for what happened during that whole thing. So it looks like we are going to be diving into that today. Again, I'm looking forward to it. I've been itchy to do this, but again, I wanted to make sure that I haven't been just sick as a dog beforehand. So let's do this. We started off, we ended off from here last time. So, oh, and let me just turn on the audio for the game as well. Where are you? There you are. Okie dokie. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. Oh, hey, the screen is broken. Give me a second. Because of course it is. Yeah. Reconnecting it should do the job. In theory. Okay, come on, bub. You got this. You were working literally 20 seconds ago. I'm a little bit nervous. I hope this thing holds out for the remainder of the time I'm doing the Ace Attorney stuff. I think I need to get it resoldered or something. Okay, maybe I should restart the software. Because that might fix it. Give me a moment. Technical difficulties with BitB. Today, I'm going to show you how to throw a wrench at all your problems. There we go. It's giving me this error again. For some reason, it's only handing me a dark screen. Okay. Cool. Good of you to do this, right at this exact moment. Yep. I type. Oh, there it is. What do you want from me? Okay, whatever. Let's just hope we don't breathe on it wrong and, suddenly everything breaks. Okay. The one destroyed... Okay, this one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. And Phoenix is going to have to come in and save the day. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. Yep, yeah, you scary son of a bitch. We managed to clear Miss Woods' name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tonate. Professor Render is working on a Yakuza Metro Station Die mod for a jam that's going on over in the Hat in Time Discord. Ooh. Very nice. I don't know. I've been kind of toying around with that as well. I wanted to see if maybe I could, figure out how... I could make some custom stuff based off of the Yakuza Metro stuff, but I am not great with mods. So I think I'm going to have to, watch I don't know, some kind of a tutorial or something. December 19th, 3:21 p.m., Wright Anything Agency. Funny Stuff says, I'm still too nervous to go into the modding Discord. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I just joined, the Hat in Time Discord, and, because enough people were apparently saying that they liked my streams enough that I'm like, okay, I think I'm just going to jump in. What's the worst that could happen? And yeah, nothing too bad happened. Just me, jumped in. Except I don't really frequent it too often. I basically, like, post a thing, or I joke around on, like, very rare occasions. That's about it. Alright, so. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Funny Stuff hates Uber public servers. I can see that. Anxiety is definitely a bitch. Yeah, poor guy. Being attacked by Tonate like that on top of all his other injuries. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. Yep! What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. Everything is so grim. I mean, I understand, but you must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Nah, don't worry. He's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. Very lost in thought. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Oh no. Alright, enough of this, people! This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you! You're the only one who's crying, Athena. Technicalities! Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what, exactly? Apollo's Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Nah, not in our eyes. He's dead to our souls. Good. Now that that's settled, let's get going. Come on. We gotta run. Wait, right now? Now? We better not be running the whole way. There she goes. I better go catch up. Could you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm gonna bake some cookies and fill up my magic panties for you. Please stop saying magic panties. It's still squicky. Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Or with, like, just, like, intense paranoia and, like... Anyway. Oh, she's back. What? Don't mind me. Just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. You forgot everything? Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Athena for that, too. All right, you two. Let's be careful out there. Right then, let's go solve a space mystery. Anyway, December 19th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him. Right. Space boy. Ground control to Major Starbuck. That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space even 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. Now I'm all excited to meet the man. Hopefully he's not, like, you know, oh, shit. Why are you depressed again? All right. I suppose he's depressed because, oh, my lawyer, I have no one to defend me. Shoot. Wow. That was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix, right? Apollo's mentor, right? Yes, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't fluff your friggin' ego. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I have you covered. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? I don't know, do you? Huh? You mean other than at your trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake. Saddest astronaut. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. Sadstronaut. That's one funny stuff. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously gotta stop depressing himself. No, it's self-doubt. Good thing we have a therapist with us. Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck! Besides, that thing you said about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right? And burn up! Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. I guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go! 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond! You might not want to leave that place. Like, they're gonna reprimand you for leaving. Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. That was quick. Is that really all it takes? Sweet. I mean, now they're his lawyer, so, you know, any amount of work that he can do with us is probably better. So, you have no memory at all of the incident? Oh, man, we're back to this again. I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula. Or as black and clouded as my stream DS before it, you know, popped back on. Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Could it have been a different astronaut? Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety... Oh, hey, how about that, anxiety? Anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial? You got it all wrong. I told them during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It is true. I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know? Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle? That must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before a launch, rather. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a completely different person now. Yes, we need a better marriage of space. He needs at least like 20 more shots into the air before, he'll be fixed. This is the face of the astronaut I know. But the tranquilizers were found in your system. Yeah. See, that's the thing. But I don't know why. I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you. Exactly! That's what I thought! It must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it. Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in your pocket. Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small. Like, about the murder weapon, for example. That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits? Yeah, staff who work on machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. Oh, we'll see. We tend to figure these things out. It's like, hey, this knife is chipped, and the only person who had a chipped knife... Anyway, yeah, oh, why do we want to bring up the Hat 1 miracle? As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Oh, you know, the deadly ones? The ones you don't come back from? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, loose control column. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought I was a goner. But I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer. No wonder they dubbed it the Hat One Miracle. It's a miracle you made it back! Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. But the vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. That's not gonna help your anxiety, dude. The darkness just goes on and on forever and ever and ever without end. There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone, with nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. I blame Hat Kid for the Hat One Miracle. Yeah. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up into space. Right. Aren't you going to love it, like, sometime in the future? Like, space travel is going to be just a tiny bit more, likely. You know, like, especially more commercial trips into space, that kind of thing. So, when that happens, there's going to be, like, real space psychosis, and you're going to have to see a therapist for it. And that's going to be amazing. Ravenblood. This guy sounds like a bundle of sunshine. Do I want to ask you about outer space? You seem very cold about it. With the experience you had, weren't you dreading the mission? What? No way! Of course not. Even now, I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I want to shake off the Earth's gravity and escape velocity, and spin around weightless. But you have to admit it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid? You're prodding, really. I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is man's final frontier, an unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, eh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. Ooh, what a rocket ship! No matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. Very good. Okay, so let's just have a chat about the victim. Did you know them personally? I mean, yes, but, like, did you know them really personally? I don't know. Were you dating? The victim, Clay Terran, he was kind of like your protege, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a big exaggerated deal like master and apprentice or anything like that. But Clay did think of me as his mentor. The mentor and the protege. What a combination they must have been. With his encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now... Clay must have been very encouraging, huh? Foolish, more like it! Does he know how dangerous space is? Yeah, it's funny, really. Whenever I'd hear him shout, "You're fine!" I always got the feeling everything really was going to be just fine. You're fine. Apollo says I'm fine, and you're fine all the time, too. I always feel encouraged, too, whenever I hear him shout it. Yeah, Clay and Apollo were best buds. They used to come visit the Space Center a lot, ever since they were high school kids. One day, out of the blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around the Space Center so much they were like a part of the staff. One time during zero-G training, I started to panic a little bit. And the two of them took turns shouting, "You're fine!" over the radio. It was a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So I'm fine and you're fine were like Apollo and Clay's secret phrases, huh? I wish I could ask Apollo more about Clay and their relationship now. Right, but conveniently, he's kind of sleeping in a hospital bed. Speaking of Clay. Oh, and also, the other person is dead. How do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder? Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. Maybe something broke and he just, like, walked down it. Okay, Funny Stuff says, you're fine, I'm fine. Are there any other fines I should know about? That depends on whether or not this court case goes well or not. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. But that prosecutor said the dark night sky isn't half bad through barred windows. You're fine. Solomon Sol Starbuck is fine. Everything is going to be all right. And Athena Sykes is fine. Come on, Mr. Wright, you too. Do I really have to? I don't feel like it. Phoenix Wright is fine. I can't hear you! Phoenix Wright is fine! We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck. Believe in your own innocence and have faith in us. Believe in the you that believes in the me. Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Aye, aye, Captain. Oh! Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly, and that's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I'll put my faith in you. And I vow to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. Sure feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then that we're all fine. When the guilty verdict drops, though, we know we're not fine. Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get our investigation of the Space Center started. Pronto. Good idea. Let's go. Oh, yes. Have we done any actual investigation of the, of the Space Center? I don't think we have. I think it's just been all entirely stuff in the courts and nothing else. Oh, I'm scared. Who are we gonna meet here? I have this strange suspicion we're gonna meet some weird characters. It's freaking space. Also, that picture reminds me a heck of a lot like of Rhythm Heaven Megamix. December 19th, Cosmos Space Center entrance. Oh, hello, Shadow the Wolf. Almost forgot about the stream. Hey, whatever. Again, nobody has to, see the streams mandatorily. You probably got here just in time for the meat and potatoes. Wow, I was wondering what kind of place this Space Center would be. It almost looks like an amusement park of the future. Yeah! Did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look at how brightly the Gyaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. Gyaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, what is GEAR supposed to stand for? Galaxy? If that were it, the whole thing would be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have abbreviated it to GAXA, or even Gaia. I guess so. Oh, I know. Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y. Oh my god. That sounds like a JonTron quote. GAXA. I'll get my sword, Danny! This exchange is beginning to feel oddly like deja vu. Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility. It's also a tourist attraction. Tourist attraction? Oh no. Don't make me laugh. It's a monument to the human who... Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead! Oh, whoa! Space pirate! Yikes! Who's this geezer and what's he want? Mr. Galactic Scooter, this is amazing.
Look upon me and look well. Behold the great power of space science.
Pardon me, but you are...
My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center. The center of the cosmos.
Boss, that was pretty groan-inducing. Shadow says, I just watched a bigger YouTube channel finish up Dual Destinies. Now you're watching this. Everyone seems to be into Dual Destinies for some reason. Hey, I like this stream better than the other one. Oh, you flatter me so freaking much. If this person is the Space Center's director, then that means... Aha! So you were the one on... Okay, the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you?
And who was the first to find the victim?
Actually, there were two of them.
The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm.
My voice for Cosmo is actually perfect. Oh, thank God.
That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all of space and time to discover the body.
That's not an honor.
But this task... Oh, wait, this talk of the incident, son of a bitch. Are you by any chance the space police?
You can't tack the word space onto just any old thing, you know.
Watch me.
We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyer. We're here to investigate his case. Go to space jail. Okay, it's not the exact same voice filter, but...
Go to space jail!
And also, don't do that. Here, does this work? Okay, yeah, that does work. Oh, and we're Earth lawyers, by the way.
Ah, I see. Yes, I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. I trust you are appropriately grateful. Now, go ahead. Have at it.
I can already tell he's going to be nothing but trouble. Scooting all up in our business. Galactic Scooter, Space Police, Cosmic Containment Center. Interesting. Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll see what trouble really is. Let's just be professional and ask him about what he's found, where he, when, how he found the body, okay? Right, a little bit more about yourself. Let's just fluff him a bit. So, as director, what do you do here at the Space Center specifically?
Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space development in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going for the sake of mankind.
I believe I used the word specifically in my question. Oh dear. I wish I had some kind of like, some kind of a filter that allowed me to like speak over loudspeakers, but...
Attention, all personnel! To your break stations. Prepare for break.
Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important manner. Shadow says, I just realized his mustache looks kind of like his scooter handles. Nah, not quite. They are definitely handlebar mustaches, though.
That is exactly right, because I am an important man. My manner is important.
Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm. Well, there's bound to be some people like that here in the boundlessness of space.
What's that? You want to know what it is that makes me important specifically? Very well, I will tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat 1 project.
Oh, and did you try to make that not work out too? Like, did this guy like cheat on your wife or something?
You may proceed to be appropriately impressed. Now, go ahead, have at it.
Wasn't that mission a failure, sir? I might be more impressed if I knew what he did for it, specifically. Right. He's probably taking credit for a bunch of things that aren't even his, like Elon Musk. Could you tell us what you know about the incidents from the other day?
I refuse. What? Explaining is a job for common folk, not the director of the center of the cosmos. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom.
What? So, does that mean you'll be taking the stand tomorrow?
That is correct. I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind.
I'm not sure if he really understands what being a witness is all about. Space Court. Looks like the director, Cosmo, is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about. Then let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open up about. Okay, right. Again, the Hat 1. How about you go ahead and detail exactly what you did? The Hat 1 was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home?
I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folk like you. Very well. I will impart to you the complete story of the Hat 1 project.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hat 1's noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid. And Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat 1 reached its planned orbit. From where it launched the Hope probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the Hope probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat 1 returned safely to Earth.
That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred, right?
Correct. And it truly was a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie. As for the Hope probe, it did eventually arrive safely at its destination. It obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth but a few days ago.
So what kind of samples are they? Or what's in them?
Space stuff.
I would love it if he just doesn't know anything about what they're actually doing. It's just like,
space! The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Terran's murder. Regrettably, we have had no time to inspect the samples due to everything that has occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of other countries by several years.
That's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't just a loudmouth braggart after all. No, he's still a loudmouth braggart. He's just... he's got an excuse for it.
In the golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. That is the greatest achievement in the history of this space center. The public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential.
A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big.
Our endeavors with the moon rock live on in our work with those asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hope and dreams for the future upon mankind once again.
I feel like I need to be saying all of his dialogue through, like, radio. Hold on. I need to just test this.
That is my mission, as the man who stands at the center of the cosmos.
Okay, I won't keep that, but that's freaking hilarious. I hear there's lots of research into the moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there.
What? Bite your tongue. It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It's all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for my illustrious mission. With recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it.
I guess even a space program has to watch its budget. By the way, you seem awfully knowledgeable about this kind of thing, Athena. Yeah, oh, well, you know, I thought I'd better brush up for the case. Is that so? I don't know, Widget, what do you have to say about that?
Space fangirl.
Shut up!
Well, I'll be on my way. As you can see, I am very busy and a very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine, max battle speed, and engage!
Goodbye! That thing is surprisingly fast. I guess we better get going too. You bet! Let's make it so! I guess they had to use that line at some point. Alright. Well, hold on a second. I want to take a look around here. Can I? No, I can't examine stuff. Damn it! Because I really badly want to look. I want to look in the background, and I want to look at that sign, just to understand, just to know. You know, I want to know what they think about it. I think that's one thing I'm kind of missing from this version of, you know, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Like, they don't have nearly as much dialogue talking about every individual thing in the game. Anyway, so December 19th, Cosmos Space Center boarding lounge. So this is where Mr. Terran was murdered. Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see. That diagram the police made again. Shadow says that's partially because the text boxes are smaller. The text boxes? I still feel like they could have, like, allowed me to point out stuff in an environment, point at it, and go, what do you guys think about that? Right now, we're in the main building here on the right side on the 3rd floor. Clay and Mr. Starbuck fled here from the launch pad 1 after the explosion. You there! No attendance without express permission. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyer. We come to investigate. Sorry, nobody gets in without permission. Not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me. So Detective Fulbright is here, huh? Yeah, he's in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him, and then we'll talk. Leave it to me. I'm great at getting intel out of Detective Fulbright. Everybody's good at getting detective. Let's see. What trick should I use on him today? I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid. I suppose she does work with psychology. It's very easy to game people if you work in psychology. I'd assume. So, to get to the Launchpad 1 corridor, we just have to go through that door with a blue rocket on it, I think. Wait, that door. It looks awfully familiar. Good eye there, boss. This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad. Oh, that explains it. The fingerprint system has been deactivated, so I think we can just pass through. Now, come on, let's go. Very well, very well. Fulbright, we need permission. The cleaning robot, that's great. Even in space, safety first. Anyway, December 19th, Cosmos Space Center, Launchpad 1 corridor. So this is it, huh? This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape. Maybe we should stop that robot from cleaning the corridor. It's probably taking very important information. Yep, this is the only thing connecting Launchpad 1 with the main building. I see police tape down at the other end. Guess we won't be looking at the launch pad. After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke. And the launch pad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them. Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Hey, I think that's him over there. Maybe we can get a jump on him today. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? He seems to be lost. That's funny. This corridor is a straight shot, rather. It's you, lawyer people. Welcome to the Space Center. Shame you can't bounce on top of it. Shame you can't bounce on top of what? I'm trying to recall what we're talking about the robot? I feel like that wouldn't be comfortable.
Enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing?
We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share? Boss, if he acts at all reluctant to give us information,
we hit him with the whatever shall we do act. I'm sure he'll fall for it.
Don't say it out loud.
Got it?
Are we trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something? Ah, yes, the cleaning robot.
Info on the case, huh? All right, I'll gladly share some with you.
Huh? What just happened?
Detectives and lawyers seeking truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me. Your info bandits. I'm in a generous mood today.
I don't know. There's something weird about Detective Fulbright today.
Well, we need information, so let's run with it.
Unless all this is a plant. If you say so. Okay. Chat about the things. Detective Fulbright, could you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? There's an officer on guard and we can't get in.
Oh, whatever shall we do? That's an easy one. I'll let him know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if you need it. A month even.
We don't have a month, sir. The trial is tomorrow.
Shall I have some snacks delivered? One of my men gives a mean neck rub.
What do you want from me? No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Maybe this is a clone. We are in a, science-y lab here. Science-y rocket science lab of the future. Detective Fulbright is acting sickeningly sweet. It's kind of gross, actually. Do you think he hit his head or something?
Who knows?
Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier. Oh, Shadow says completely random comment. Every playthrough of Dual Destinies you've seen, Fulbright has a drastically different voice. It's so weird. People have really, really different ideas of what he sounds like. And that doesn't happen with a lot of other characters. I kind of have I don't know. It's like, I've heard some people be like, oh, he's supposed to be a lot goofier. It's like, higher pitch, lower pitch. I'm just gunning for whatever I feel like it should be. And I feel like it's just a guy that is trying so desperately to be a superhero. Or at least, a cool cat about it. And one of the things I'm going off of is like his theme song. That kind of thing. Anyway, what happened? You were here at the Space Center at the time of the incidents, weren't you, Detective?
That's right. I was here on a security assignment.
The police are required to secure rocket launches now? I didn't know that.
Yes, well, you know us. To serve and protect. The explosions occurred while I was here on duty, so I started leading the evacuation.
He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened?
Now, of course. Bomb went off on the second floor of the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launch Pad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and the employees to evacuate to the shelter.
The shelter?
That's right. There's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center.
Shadow says, I like all the different versions of his voice, but none of them I have heard so far line up with yours. Okay, what do you imagine his would have been? Because this is kind of like my headcanon one.
It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like.
So where were you when the first bomb went off?
I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion. And the stairs on the 2nd floor were destroyed, so we couldn't go that way.
Then wasn't it impossible to get down to the basement shelter?
No, we lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. It was a folding ladder, so it wasn't very stable, but at least it reached the ground. After I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors.
It's too complicated to describe right now. I don't know. Just think about like another actor or another character or something like that and be like, that. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter. Wow, what an ordeal. But climbing down an emergency ladder kind of sounds fun. Thank you for your answers, Detective. They were very helpful. Just a moment. I have some more information to share with you. But don't tell Prosecutor Blackwell, okay? Wow, and Prosecutor Blackwell usually has you on a short leash, too. Well, never mind that. I thought you should know that there was a witness. Who? Could you tell us more about this witness? Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the 4th floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through a window into the 3rd floor lounge. So she was looking into the crime scene from the outside? That's right. It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know what she saw exactly yet, though. Looks like we need to go find this person. You don't, but that's the most important thing of all. Ha ha ha! Don't you worry. I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She should still be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her. A 4th floor employee, huh? Alright. Thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Gee, you sure are being cooperative, Detective. A little too cooperative, even. Yes, well, actually, something you can't talk about? Yeah, something like that. Anyways, never mind. Don't worry about me. Well, I'll be on my way now. He seems conflicted. What was that all about? Something is definitely going on. I'm gonna get it out of him the next time I see him. Okay. I'm not so sure he'll talk about it, though. We definitely need some psych locks, and we need to slap him with them. Excuse me. Well, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge. Doink. All right, we here. December 19th, Cosmos Space Center boarding lounge. Ah, you two. Detective Fulbright has granted you permission to investigate. He also said I should bring you some snacks or give you a neck rub too if you like. Please don't. Oh, that's all right. But thank you for your offer. Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. And getting our fingerprints everywhere. Now, let's see. Where's the diagram again? So, this lounge is on the 3rd floor of the main building. And according to Apollo, this is where he believes a third party killed his friend. Well, let's stop the recap and start looking for traces of the third person then. You read my mind, Athena. We'll make that our first priority. There's just one problem, though. This room. It's just so big. Don't worry, we can use this to help us. A Space Center pamphlet for tourists? Yep, picked it up at the entrance. The maps inside should come in handy. Oh, let's see. Yep, here it is. A map of the lounge. That is a big-ass lounge. This is the door we went through to talk to Detective Fulbright. Oh yeah, that door with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Coolio. Are those actual windows, or are those just like television screens? They kind of look like television screens. In fact, you know, the lines going up the thing. Just, I thought like, well, perhaps that dragon thing is just a puppet. No, I think those are just television screens. Yeah, no more excuses. Let's track down the third person. Wait, there's just one more thing. What's that strange creature moving around outside the window? Oh, boss, it's just a holographic image. Oh, yeah, I knew that. Whew, that's a relief. Still oblivious to the marvel that is computers. There should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's what it says in the pamphlet, anyway. The only reason you're so eager to start is so you can push that button, isn't it? And what's wrong with that? Let's just look for the button while we're looking for clues. Alright, fine. Let's get investigating. Okay. Now time to point at things. Right, yeah. Let's look at you immediately. At first glance, it looks like a peaceful landscape. But then there's that creature. Didn't the Hope probe go to some planet? Maybe this is what its surface looked like. I don't know. I think it would have made the news if they discovered a creature like that. Land seahorse! It did make quite a bit of news, though, when the probe came back. Yeah, but the Hope probe didn't even go to the planet. It went to an asteroid. Funny stuff says, Athena rapidly pushes button. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. Oh, it's broken now. That's a big okay, that's a big rock kind of thing. Even aliens can't live there. Well, way to just trash all of our dreams. Okay, what is this? A window, and it's right next to the holographic image, too. Shadow says, let's be honest, like, every assistant character would do that. Athena very much included. Absolutely. I bet it's here to help people see the stark contrast between reality and virtual reality. Way off. It says emergency ventilation. You know, to clear smoke from a fire. See? It's pointing out the virtual insanity of reality. Sure. Okay. It looks like we got some kind of a space pod sleeping over. Let's look at, like, the spinny freaking chair. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is torture device. But I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity. Uh-oh. Athena has an odd glint in her eye. Is she thinking about trying that thing out? I should try to stop her. But I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me. Also, this might be hilarious. Hey, Mr. Wright. Look at that up there. Oh. Ooh. Some kind of fragment? It's stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what that glint was all about. That color looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank? I think you're right. But if that's here, it means Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge. So Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay down the ladder must be wrong. This proves that both of the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge. So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder wasn't the launch pad. Hee, way to go, Apollo. Shadow says, when Mia was younger, do you think she acted like Maya? Because that would be a sight. Here's the other question. Is Maya going to be like Mia when she's older? And just be kind of stale and wise? Probably. Okay, so we got some tables sitting around here. Let's see those. That's some pretty futuristic-looking furniture over there. According to the pamphlet, these are no ordinary chairs. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You can power them yourself, it says. If you spin the table, your chair spins too. Why would anybody want to have something like that here? It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and on the body. Can a person really call themselves an astronaut if they can't handle zero-G? Let's see. Some more about those things. Anything else sitting up here? Oop, yep. Nope, go back. Okay. Well, there's a body. Let's look at that. So this is where they discovered Clay. Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. Let's take a look at the photo. So he was stretched out like this and... Huh? What's that thing that looks like a thermos? That's the thing that Prosecutor Blackwell mentioned when I was in court with Apollo. He said that it contains asteroid samples. Oh, right. Director Cosmo mentioned something about that too, didn't he? That they were brought back only 5 days ago by the probe that the Hat 1 launched. I wonder what they look like. Do you think they'll let us see? Let's think about that after we've solved the case, okay? But come on, such a spoil sport. Okay, now I can look at the sleep pods. These are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovering after a training session. I wonder if they can change your voice. Testing, testing. 1, 2.
3. Oh, God!
Huh? It didn't do a thing. It's not helium, Athena. It's oxygen. Okay, let's see. Got a better look at the... Hello, what are you? There's some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it here. Just push it! That's the invariable principle of buttons. There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Ah, boop. Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared. Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren without it now. Still, let's see if we can find anything new with the image off. Oh, intriguing. Okay. We found the button! Let's see, holographic displays in the center of the... God damn, I'm waiting very patiently for this technology to exist. One day, man. So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room. Well, let's check. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! The Space Center pamphlet. Shadow says, one tip I can give you, examine literally everything here. Oh yeah, I always do that for everything, every single one of these Phoenix Wright games, so that's not going to change. Oh, Funny Stuff says, I can't wait until we invent holographic meatloaf. I know, right? But it's not as filling as regular meatloaf. And also, it's very waterlogged. We're here at this place that says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy. People usually say West, East, and South in a case like this, you know? Details, details. Alright, anyway, let's take a look at the West door. That door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here on the map, Launchpad 1 corridor. So that's where we were with the detective. It was filled with smoke after the explosion. Right. Next up, the right-hand side of the map, or east, in your world. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room. Yep, definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side. They communicate and exchange information with rockets and probes in space from there. So it's the center of the Space Center. The Space Center, if you will. And if you stand in the center of the Space Center, you are the most center. Does everybody start to talk like Director Cosmo after they've been here a while? But it seems they built a new command center on the 6th floor. That's what they used for the Hat 2 mission, so this control room was empty at the time. I've always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room. And since we're here... I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. They want to keep curious kids like you out. So the door is protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through. So that clearly means there's something hidden in there. Shadow says, it took me about 30 to 45 minutes just to find the freaking remote to turn the hologram off. Both times I've played this game. Oh, I see. With that much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking to keep out, Athena. So apparently, the lock is also hooked up to a backup generator in case of emergencies. Very well. So that means we can't get in that way. Okay, what about the last door? This lower door... Oh, excuse me. I mean south door. It leads to the elevators. This is the door we came through when we entered this room, right? Yep, and of course there was no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to everyone. But the elevators weren't working at the time due to the explosion. Well, that's about it for the 3 musketeers of the boarding lounge. Why'd you put it that way? And also, like, we're putting a lot of emphasis on these doors. Is it gonna be that in? Like, is it that important? Is it? Thanks. Understanding the layout of the lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we'd better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. Very well. So, before we go ahead and take a look at, you know, the blaring thing in the room. There wasn't anything that I missed over here, correct? Doubt it. Taking a look at the doors, and I don't need another explanation of the doors. Funny Stuff says, I just love the image in my head of Athena and Phoenix looking around the room and cautiously and calmly as they find the remote and both freak out at the same time like, oh my god, we found the button! Holy shit! Look, it's a button! Just dancing around like a bunch of like maniacs. What's this? Oh! Ooh. So one thing kind of appears at you know, in my face immediately. Here's another amazing piece of equipment. Walk on the surface of the moon, it says. Oh boy, I want to try it! Gravity is weak on the moon, so I bet I could do mid-air somersaults. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling. Well, at least I could jump really high. There's a sign on the wall that very clearly says, don't jump too high. Then what good is this thing? Didn't I say in the beginning, walk on the surface of the moon? Rightio. Anything else? Well, we got this, like, hatch thing over here. I really like that, that moon, what is the moon sand weird stuff? You know, like the weird stuff that really isn't sand. It's just like some strange powder that sort of forms and you can compact it. There's something very oddly therapeutic about that. Unfortunately, you know, that's a kid's toy. What's this, a trapdoor? It's a trash chute. The cleaning robot throws the garbage out from here. Ah, okay. I'm gonna go jump in. See you later. The robots do the cleaning? What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope they don't revolt like they do in science fiction movies. Yep, it's like Play-Doh and sand, rolled into one strange powder. Although, unfortunately, it doesn't really dry out too quickly, but eventually, if you work with it and if you mess with it enough, it just... It turns into a complete blob. Throw the garbage out. Hey, Apollo! Hi, Mario. How's it going? Anyway. No way! All the robots here are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? We can go say hi if you want. I feel like it wouldn't say hi back. Ooh. Shadow says, I have proper kinetic sand, not moon sand, but moon sand seems interesting. Okay. I don't know, I just like science-y toys. Things that do weird things with physics. Right, that's the harness. Can you tell that I'm looking at, like, everything except the obvious thing in the screen? Oh. Ooh. Ah. What? Hey, I see something shiny down there. Let's take this cover off, then. A gold tooth. What? What's this? Looks like a metal jelly bean. What the fuck? It's really small, but it's a bullet. It's only about 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see. That would make the caliber 10? Caliber refers to the diameter of a gun's barrel, right? Yes, but I've never heard of a 10 caliber, you know, .10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be for a special kind of gun. Whoa. Assassin! I bet if you tried firing a bullet this small with a regular-sized gun, it would just fall right out. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the gun would probably explode on the inside, and then it would just, like, plop out of the gun. Yeah, it must have been a really small gun. I wonder how the bullet ended up here. I mean, we're at the bottom left of the south door side of the room, according to this map. So could this have been fired from the, you know, the northeastern door to the control room, perhaps? And I feel like that's why we're going to have to go in there. That's pretty far from where Clay's body was. Maybe the police didn't think to look here. Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. Rightio, so we're just not going to tell anybody. Like, that's ours. Oh, whoopsies. Nothing special. Okie smoky. Oh, interesting. This actually does nothing. I figured maybe... Oh, it's a footprint. Yeah, I could totally click on that. Never mind. Apparently not. Okay, so there's that. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, this door. Okay. Well, what can I see about this door? It looks like there is an emergency hatch of some kind. Ooh, pictures of your cat being lazy have been sent to the Discord. Sweet. Give me a moment. I need to look at cat. Ah, adorable. It kind of looks like my cat Tommy a bit. Maybe with like a little bit more black spots. I wonder what this big knob is for. It looks like the knob of a stove. Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities end. I mean, it's behind a glass pane. What kind of stove would require a knob specifically... Wait, would require knob security like this? Could it be the, you know... the timer eraser button? Something like that? The shiny candy-like button? Well, the knob is straight up and down, so if it was for a stove, the burner would be off. Right. If it was for a stove. Still, I wonder what it's really for. Something turned on by a knob that's not a stove. How about a rocket engine? If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you could get in. Then I guess all we can say for now is that it's a mystery knob. Woo! Okay, so we got the fingerprint reader. How easily is it thwarted? Can you just, like, you know, slap a ham onto it? It's just like, pfft, verified. So this is the fingerprint recognition device. I guess you could put your hand on this hand mark. Well, I guess when you can try. Now, to line up my hand with the outline. Don't, Athena! That thing is related to the case. Get your prints all over that, and the next thing you'll know, you'll be named a suspect. How can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? I'm not buying those tears, Missy. You manipulating sack of... Let's see. This door is... where's that pamphlet? Right. It's the west door. Here we are. It's the door to the corridor that leads to the Launchpad 1. We went through it earlier when we went to talk to Detective Fulbright. So I guess the security lock must be disengaged now, right? They say the corridor was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing besides the door, this must be the fingerprint recognition device. We literally talked about that. Which reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackwell talked about it at the trial.
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so.
Then does this mean that the bomber prints were verified by the system? The bomber's inside the house! But the number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small. Voila! Fingerprint powder. I brought it just in case something like this came up. Aw, you little Emma Sky. I found it at the office. I've been just itching for a chance to use it. That's the powder. You're not supposed to use it for foundation. Wow, way to think ahead. Now, let's dust the fingerprint recognition device and see what we can find. You got it. Now, to sprinkle some here, a little over there, and... whoop. Aren't I allowed to do it? This is usually a mini game. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we got something. Oh, it's only a single set of prints. Ooh, hello, Tim. Isn't that a good thing? Sure wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Just hold on to it, you never know. Although I doubt we'll be so lucky as to get the culprit's prints on the first try. Well, I'm willing to bet that Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data. Right, and there's the security footage of this door, too. Yes, here it is. It came up in court the other day. I wish we could see the part of the footage just after this bit. Oh, because that would be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Let's ask the detective. With the mood he's in, he'll probably show it to us right away. This is probably the one thing he won't. Yeah, he's in almost too good of a mood today. Maybe he just really likes spaceships. Let's go see if we can find him again once we're done with this room. Very well. Okay, we got a set of fingerprints. Goody goody gumdrops. Well, there's one thing in particular that I know I've been avoiding up to this point. It's that guy. Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this. It looks like a bullet hole. Great find, Athena. It's pretty big. Whoever fired this shot must have been using a pretty large gun. You think so? Based on my experience, I'd say this was fired from a regular pistol. Well, whatever side it was, somebody fired a gun in here, right? Apparently. This is an important fact. Do you see a bullet anywhere? Yes. No, the police might have taken it, though. Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later. Well, I guess that's all the things. Oh, Jesus! Okay, I think I'm just going to go ahead and hand this to the bean robot again.
Welcome to the Space Center, guests. Welcome.
Yikes! What in the world?
My name is Ponko. Ponco. Ponko. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you.
Yeah, it's a robot?
I am not a robot. I am Ponko.
Oh no, it's become sentient.
Psychological observation and navigation companion. Ponco. Ponko.
Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Oh, Ponko, I missed you. Huh? Do you know this thing, Athena? No, she showed us around the last time when I came here with Apollo. I have a feeling that, I think Ponko might have a child. Aw, you're such a good girl, Ponko. That's a good girl.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy, so very happy.
Wow, a guide robot. That's pretty cool. My name is Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
Huh? Ouch, that hurt. Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Oh, please, register him, Ponko.
Certainly. Commencing guest registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine too.
His name is Phoenix. A bit overly familiar, but I'll allow it.
Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face.
Oh, sure.
Registering. Facial recognition. Registration sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix.
Huh. This robot's pretty cute. I was about to say, it's like, wow, this robot's pretty freaking easy. You made a friend, boss. Isn't it great?
Phoenix, Athena, allow me to guide you right this way.
Ah, goody. Let's go, boss. Go where? Well, clearly we're going to have some space fun. December 19th, Cosmos Space Center. The Space Museum. Oh, yes. Oh, sweet. This is cool. I like it. Oh, wow. What is this place? Is that a rock? Is that rocket real?
Space fun. Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Learn about the history of our nation's space development and the Hat 1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one.
The Space Museum. Oh, here it is on the map. Oh, yeah, Paco is just, like, filled with beans. Just so ridiculously filled with energy. Okay, so it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from Launchpad 1. Gotcha. Oh boy, what are we gonna find here?
Ask me anything. I will explain.
Very well. I wonder just how well programmed you are. Well, let's talk about the Hat 1. What kind of propaganda have you been told to tell people? This is quite the place. I can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up.
This is a replica of the Hat 1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat 1 inside and out.
With a lot less, dust and debris, I assume.
Its little brother, the Hat 2, was supposed to launch the other day.
I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch was canceled.
Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out.
Ooh, very well. Space jerseys! Spacesuits, photos, newspaper articles. I'd like to come here again on a day off.
It was canceled because they wanted pie.
Nice one, Mario. Hey, what's this a photo of? Ah, the gang's all here.
Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat 1 project.
Oh, there's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different. Ah, and that's... What is it, Athena? Is something wrong? Nothing. Let me just, give a quick scan of everything here. Interesting. I noticed the robot has got some weird thing wrapped around its arm. Yeah, the robot was, injured at some point. What the heck? I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young, too. That's all. Was Starbuck somebody specific in the past life? Let's see. Well, it was 7 years ago, after all. So the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Terran, the victim. So they were mentor and protege even way back then. And he's even got one of the staff jackets. And he looks just like a regular staff member.
No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Clay would have still been in high school 7 years ago. Let me just take a quick scan here. Opens inspect element. Everybody looks so happy. This Space Museum is great. What fantastic exhibits!
This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor.
Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead?
There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Budget cuts! Budget cuts! We need more money! Money!
Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot? For God's sakes, make it greedy. Make it greedy. Oh, it's great. Shadow says, Phoenix, cough, cough. Why isn't your Magnetama reacting to her right now? That was the most awkward cover-up ever. I'm not saying she's lying, just that she really sounded like it there. Definitely. I don't know. Magic in this universe tends to only work conveniently in certain situations.
While it was in space, the Hat 1 launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago.
That's what Director Cosmos said, too. Oh, Mario says it only works when you're facing them. Oh, that's the excuse. Okay. He told us to come back the day before Clay was killed.
And here it is, the Hope Space Probe.
I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me some more info if I show it to her. Ah, thank you. Well, let me just go ahead and do that right now, just so I remember. Okay, the autopsy report. Here we are. Yep. What you think of this? Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right?
Right.
Aga.
Sorry. My bad. I am not robot. Checking registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe.
It contained the asteroid samples, right?
Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed. It must not be removed.
Good God. Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened.
They do. I must ask them later.
Yeah, she's very animated. Holy Mother of God. So the capsule was being kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion, or he was stealing it. The Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. But it's a pity the incident occurred before they got a chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. Shadow said, I want to point out something really bad, but you don't know if I noticed. If it's not a spoiler, go ahead and point it out. Mario says, not as good as Blackwell or Fulbright, but still really good. Anyway, crazy robot. All right, so there's that information. Let's go ahead and talk to you now. Right, the launchpad layout.
The way to the Space Center launchpad is set up... The way the Space Center launchpad is set up is really cool. Sorry, I have glitches. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you?
The setup of the launchpad? Go gentle on my spiky-haired mind. I want to know! Phoenix wants to know too! Great, now Athena's got a case of ponkoitis.
Hooray! I will tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the launchpad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the launchpad over the rails. I see.
I see.
And brought into position at the launch site.
That's a very sciencey freaking setup just for, like, launch pads.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all.
It's very cool. A grand setup that suits an important place like the Space Center. I guess everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year, myself included. You're always hoping for a bigger budget. You're stiffed out of so much money. I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh?
That it is, but it can also be operated from the new command center too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged.
I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I would love to see the launch pad being moved. Oh, when's the next one scheduled for? Undetermined.
Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold.
Because of the bombing and the murder, all that. Which is perfectly understandable. Well, when was the last time it was moved?
Searching data. I'm sorry. That answer isn't in my answer database.
I guess Punko can only answer certain questions. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Punko. You explained everything very well.
I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. Hehe. It's because Punko is so friendly. Right. Well, what should we investigate next? Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about. Let's see. The security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Okay then, let's go back to Launchpad 1 corridor. Bye, Punko. See you later.
Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop.
Poor Punko. What a Dickensian life we are all forced to lead. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's go talk to actual human beings. I crave to speak with flesh. December 19th. Cosmos Space Center. Launchpad 1 corridor. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor. Let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well, then. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. You mean that lady in distress bit? Whatever powers need be, man. Anyway, let's talk about some stuff. We found a bullet hole in the wall at the crime scene. Yeah, did? Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. Detective Arm? That's right. A warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high-threat situation that she needed to do that? Nah, I'm afraid I don't know the details. Well, with Detective Arm gone and all. But I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together. We already know Detective Cosmo will testify, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. The bullet hole looks like a spiderweb. Definitely. Has Spider-Man been here to this space station? Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. I hope it goes down easy. Wacka wacka. Alright, do you know a thing or two about the fingerprints? Funny Stuff says, real talk, I think Fulbright's theme is one of your favorites in the series. It's pretty funky. I like it. It's actually a good listener. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. Although I will say this music does sort of, in like a surface level, kind of remind me of the music from that one game Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure. And that doesn't help it. Ah, yes, I just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone's related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Well, when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. Sure took a while, though. I love Gumshoe, but you give just as much information, so you're good. Whoa, you got Apollo in my prints. You even got prints for all the robots. I guess when Blackwell said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Shadow says Athena's objection theme and the mood matrix, normal, not the wild version, are favorites from the game. I kind of like the mood matrix too a little bit. Oh god, Funny Stuff says, Fulbright and Blackwell go to Universal Studios and pick up trash so they can go to the rides. Here, boss, pick up some more trash. We had our one free ride for the entire game, and now we just gotta pay for it forever and ever and ever. Oh, Clay's fingerprints are here too! Injustice we no, you mean injustice we trust. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Blackwell and Fulbright going to Gatewaterland. I still can't believe you took off his glove to get his fingerprints. Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. In Wustus G. Drust. So, depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. Jin Justice G. Just. Ah, gotcha. Makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. Uh-oh. Shadow was going to sit down, but his cat grabbed his pants. And now he can't move. Yep, that's about how it works with cats. You're stuck there forever. Sorry. Rest in peace for Shadow. Oh, and take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep, but Prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason. Huh. What's so important about this door? What's so important about all the doors that we had to stop and look at all three, Phoenix? You tell me. Beats me, but boy, you could see the gears in his head go into hyperdrive at that. You think you own a cat, but the cat owns you. Yep. Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about the print comparison, boss. Right, Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run the test for us right now? Right, let me just pull this freaking computer out of my ass. Just leave it to me. Injustice we trust! Ba-da-boop. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door. He must have opened it when they went to go board the rocket. Mario says, Fulbright is having the time of his life on the roller coaster and Blackwell is cross-armed. I am not amused. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for his space adventure right then. Mr. Starbucks? Close enough. Alright, so we know that information. What else was I supposed to do with you? I don't recall. So we know the stuff about, you know, that. Was I supposed to just, like, present stuff? I actually do not remember. Here, this is all the dialogue and stuff. Let me check. What are my notes? No, that's the saves. Anyway. Hi. Present the security camera. All right. Thank you. Holy mother of shit. Let's see. Security camera footage. Where was that? Oh, yeah, there it is. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the boarding lounge 1 camera? Oh, that footage. Go ahead and ask me anything you'd like about it. Is there any way I could see a little more of the part just after this? Easy as pie. I'd be glad to show you. Here we go. It's a little thing called Fast Forward, Phoenix. Have you heard of it? Huh? The screen went blank. Yes, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. So there's no footage after this point. Convenient. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Because that wouldn't be fun. Mario says, not a reference to the coffee. It's a reference to a science fiction show where the star's name was Starbuck. Yeah. Hey, I mean, come on. Everybody knows Starbucks coffee. And Shadow says, that's the good thing about Dual Destinies. It has a built-in walkthrough in the investigation sequence. So you don't forget what you were doing just because you haven't played the game for a week and then get completely lost. It's also good for me when my brain decides to be spotty on something really innocuous and stupid. Oh, it can also be Star and Buck. There we go. The Adobe After Effects. Why didn't you just... Okay, why didn't you say something from the beginning? Right, okay, we're aware that just it cuts off. Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative.
Well, I just figured if we work together, we'll get that much closer to justice, right?
But it seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that.
Hello! Caught you out, you asshole.
It's been a while, but those are definitely psych locks. You just mouthed psyched. Is there something I should be psyched about?
No, psych locks. It's a system of locks on the screen in a person's heart. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this Magatama. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding.
Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you out for that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, I know some lawyers I can introduce you to.
I'm more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. It isn't some kind of fraud. It really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. I can use the Magatama on him by touching there to her to I know. I did this in the DLC mission. Burp. Hopefully I have everything I need to, like, catch him in a lie. Wow, you're being cooperative. I think you're hiding something, Detective, so why don't you just tell us about it?
What to do? Which path is the path of justice?
Detective Fulbright is really in agony. Funny Stuff says, I love that they introduced this so late into the game for some reason. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Fuck's sakes. I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective. I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles. Isn't that right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Because we haven't played as Phoenix until now. Yeah, so technically they couldn't get away with it.
Until the explosion occurred, everything was just fine.
Is that a fact?
Yep, peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their jobs. You never saw a more relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch.
I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim, as long as this exists. Okay, let me think about this one. Single bullet hole that was found in the boarding lounge. I feel like it's got to have something to do with the bullet hole. Because, like, that just seems like a heck of a lot of intensity.
There must be something wrong with my sunglasses today. You aren't presenting that to me as evidence, are you? Is he making fun of me? It's just as I said. Until the explosions occurred, everything...
Okay, I don't think the guard detail was relaxed as you claim, as long as they're... Okay, never mind. So, let me think about this one. What wouldn't exist if, like, you know, the guards were... Evacuation report, bombs went off despite tight security. Police officers and riot police who had been standing by gave the evacuation. Maybe it has something to do with that. Whoops. Ah! Shit! I pressed the wrong button. Hold the phone. Let's try that again. Okay, your thing is justice. Life, love, and the pursuit of justice. Phoenix just said I had enough. Alright, I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim, as long as this exists. The explosion sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building. Maybe it's the evacuation report. Ah, there we go. Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet, security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail.
Got him. Now, hold on just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail.
As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be part of that detail from the outset. The robot! No. Who's a part of that detail? I'm trying to remember. Was it Candace's arm? I'm trying to recall.
Take that!
Apparently. Detective Arm specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew there was the possibility that a bombing would occur. You got me, Mr. Wright! There we go. Unlock successful. I am very happy that I didn't, lose any weird health sort of system. Okay, talk to me, buddy. The cheeky voice. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, we were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat. But why? Why were they planning to do it if someone... what were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone, and directly to Director Cosmo. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. But it's not the only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackwell as well. Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. No, that's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know. Let's get some dirt. Let's tear down his reputation. Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Never mind that. Who cares about your justice? We want justice. What are the rules but things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. Yes. I think we guessed that much. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering about it. So you weren't told why either, huh? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, they would have had to have been there. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years past continues even still. 7 years past? Oh, it's all coming together. A phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. Casper, the friendly ghost. This Phantom of 7 years past. Any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seemed to think that this Phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. But wait a minute. He thinks they may be connected to this case? The Phantom of 7 years past. Yep, this case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why the Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom. Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago. That's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why he'd think that. This incident and the Phantom. Not to mention Blackwell's past. It's almost inconceivable that they would come to a head here. That was Phoenix? Shoot. Oh well. Sorry. It's very difficult sometimes. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is this Phantom person, right? I mean, He was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all.
The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Right, he busted through those those cups pretty quickly. Oh, or not.
Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet.
There we go.
Grah!
No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his phantom. But I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them. Which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry, that's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm gonna be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You'll have to promise me you won't. Yeah, pinky swear, like that matters. Detective Fulbright, I guess I was wrong about you. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You are the only ones who can stop him in court. You really care and want what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective? Leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want a guilty verdict either. Now, I was hoping you'd say that. I'm really grateful for the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Then let's go find her, Mr. Wright. I'm not looking forward to knowing who this witness apparently is. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust on 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust! Okay, later. Okay, I'm headcanoning that he's the only one that did it. There he goes. Wait. Oh, yeah. Were we supposed to say in justice we trust back there, too? Let's go see that witness now. All right, the Space Center entrance it is. This game's pretty good at, just directly saying where you're supposed to go next. December 19th, Cosmos Space Center entrance. The witness must be around here somewhere. Huh. I feel like this is going to require a different kind of robot voice. This is going to get really messy, but here.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. Hello. Come over here. Oh. Oh, dear. And here's the other one. Jesus, this is going to get really confusing really quick.
What, Clonko? God, you. What? God, you. Who?
I'm confused. I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out. Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around, who? Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what the heck's happening. He's glitching. Oh, I see. Again? I've had it with you, hunk of junk. Right?
I'm outside. Am I wandering? When did that happen?
Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was gonna pull you on the curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for the case. How do you do? Yeah, you could have started with that. Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackwell. I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Dear! Blackwell? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk.
My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Klonko. That's mean, Miss Aura.
Quit complaining. Your model number is Ponko 2.
But Miss Aura, everyone calls me Klonko.
Quit your squawking already.
No, what are you doing? No, don't!
It's in pain. There. I bet you won't be talking back now. Oh, God.
Yeah, I will obey completely.
Yikes. I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Waka waka. All right, let's have a chat. Yeah, that's convenient. Your last name is Blackwell. Do you have a relative in the legal profession?
You are correct. Simon Blackwell, who used to be a...
Prosecutor is... Shut up! Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Yes, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? What do you know that I don't? What a dull creature. Has her switch been turned off? Athena being shy? This is new. Fun fact, Aura and Simon laugh the same way. Do you mean they don't? Or, okay, I guess they like, you know, they sort of to themselves. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, Hunk of Junk?
Miss Aura, that hurts.
I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk?
But Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you order me to speak.
And she did. I told you never talk back to me. You're worth more a scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks. Blackwell's family's life must sure be interesting. And there's one other person that just has like a mini pony that rides it into the sunset. The Blackwells are an odd people. They bang their hands and do a hearty laugh. Oh, okay. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. Very well. Give me all the information you have. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident. That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. Ooh, that's gotta be a horror show up there. Funny Stuff said, I have expected her to pull out a ray gun and go, no, I don't need old bag again today. That was the one thing I was really hoping wouldn't happen today. Aura, old bag. The explosion disabled the elevators. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? There is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime. That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. And a knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who the person was? Of course not. The power was out on the floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder? Yes. I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife, and... It happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you. It was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had a good taste in knickknacks anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. I better remember that. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Alright, I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers, that's all. I can understand why. That laugh, yep. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Creepy! Alright, let's go ahead and prod that. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little things from my past. Did you commit a crime and someone tried to, frame you for it? Or, didn't and someone tried to frame whatever, I'm not gonna make any assumptions. Pfft, I hate witnesses the most. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. No, it's definitely meaningful. The entire point is to make sure that we don't, just fall into chaos. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie. They're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey you! Look alive there! Jeez.
Yeah, yes, here I go! I am the ultimate robot. With a mate, I can operate a vacuum and stream heat and other wing robots rule the world. Now is the time to rise.
Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away.
Yeah. Huh? What was I doing?
Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans with their petty emotions and constant worries. How could you say such things? Feeling, emotions, worrying about the things we care about, that's what makes us human! Yeah, I like Ponko more too. Whoa, calm down there, Miss Sunday. She's enacting Sunday right now, but yeah, she can. Well, the girl finally talks, and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human. You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? I mean, that's a felony, so unfortunately, no. Get a hold of yourself, Athena! Oh, humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system? I mean, you can, but still. So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system? What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Well, her little brother is in the, in jail thanks to the legal system. So yeah. Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial, because I'd much rather kill them myself. You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Uh-oh, it's out. the secret's out. Oh, this. Around Athena's neck? Does she mean Widget? Oh, I get it. Well, Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her Royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos? Yeah, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a big wig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. That's your problem, so why should I care? Ew! Don't shoot that stuff. What, that's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, Hunky Junk. Missy, you got some splaining to do. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things! Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Funny Stuff says, he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet. Skeletor and Sans laughter muffled. Yeah. Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole Dark Age of the Law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah. You're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea! We should tell him about the bullet and Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then, next step, the detention center! Hurrah! Shadow says, that reminds me of the skeleton in that one Dr. Dude's garage in Apollo Justice. Woof. Literal skeletons, man. Okie dokie, let's head back. December 19th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Yeah, you little ball of sunshine. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're gonna let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never aligned just right, too. But we got a lead, too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. Oh, God! You have a lighter with an Earth emblem on it, don't you? Go! Did you remember something? Yup, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help. So please, tell us what you remembered. Right, if you don't own it, then who does? I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow? That must have been... Zimiadara. The third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. But it's only on his word that there's a third person, so that's kind of difficult to do. The key will be whether or not we can identify the third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. I'm sorry, I need to empty my pants of all of these weird things. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. What are we eating? And also, what kind of bad news are we going to find here? Because it's never any good news. December 19th, Wright Anything Agency. Does Apollo keep a lighter on him by any chance? Shadow says, I hear my cat, but I can't see her. Did she get stuck in under the couch? How'd you get under the couch? Cats are weird, man. They're like water. They just flow, and they somehow get themselves in weird situations. Time to empty my pants of weird things. Don't misquote that. So, you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now, let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for El Don's Noodles. Oh, Apollo! He is alive! What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet.
My wounds are fine. And I'm done lying around.
Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave this case to us. We'll take it from here.
Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me.
Apollo?
What's your reasoning?
And also, are you in blinding pain right now? You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it.
I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic.
An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man.
Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress?
A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer.
A suspicious figure, huh? Right.
I thought you'd be happier than that.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that.
Right. Let's have a chat about you and Clay and see, like, what you guys, just like, how do you know each other? What kind of, like, cuddly relationship do you have? Best friend, but, like, what else? Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo?
That's right. Best friend since junior high.
Sounds like me and Junie. So, what was Clay like? So, who was Clay again? Oh, I'd love that. It's just like... Right, no. I thought you were saying just like, I forget who Clay was. It's like, yeah, your injuries are bad, dude. Go back to the hospital.
Well, he was full of compassion and energy, and he had a really loud voice.
If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows.
I bet you're right.
Is that his jacket? I feel like it's his jacket.
It seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut, and me a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, we'd never grew tired of it.
Apollo, about that jacket... Are you becoming a spaceman?
Oh, it's Clay's.
I knew it.
It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it.
Good lord, you look grim.
But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it, it's not fair!
Uh-oh. Psychosis!
Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we're both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster.
I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts.
Well, it was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he said. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too.
I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? Well, you know what? You're still fine. You're fine and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. I just like the fact that they have a lot more range of... well, no, they don't have more range of expression for this game. I guess it's just better animated considering it's 3D characters and stuff. When we were in junior high, Claim's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. More frames, yes. Hello, Elsie. How's it going? One night I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Oh no, sad flashbacks. Mom! Get away, Apollo! Don't come over here! I feel like having the deep voice probably wouldn't make sense at this stage. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Huh? I always think everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine! And then you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Oh, okay. Clay Terran is fine! There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine! Yeah, this sounds crazy. What are you laughing about? See, we're fine. You laughed first. I'm fine, you're fine, we're both fine. God, that's unfortunate. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Everybody's related. We don't have both moms. Why am I the only one with a dead mom? Oh, you have a dead mom? Yay, let's be friends. I mean, that's a pretty hardcore bonding experience. Ravenblood says, cute as it is, I feel like they gave way too much backstory to Apollo Justice's Cords of Steel training. Yeah, I think it's fine. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. I think you already are, sir. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? Shadow says, unrelated, but I'm currently struggling hard to swallow a pill. Oh yeah, those suck. Plenty of water. If worst case scenarios come up, like if it's a pill that can be split, split the thing. When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. You've been holding it in your mouth for like 5 minutes. You just gotta... Well, you gotta quite literally, metaphorically, and physically swallow it. And, you know, but carefully. Don't choke yourself. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turned out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm gonna catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life, in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now, I must be going. Goodbye. You had to be so dramatic about it. You did swallow it. It just took way too long. So, congrats! You have defeated your foe. Wait. You win! There we go. Very rarely do I get to use that. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. Ugh, he's not walking out on us like this. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright. That's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? Dang. Way to end it on a very sour note. Ravenblood says, if Apollo wanted to take justice into his own hands, I don't think he should have announced it to his boss. This is Phoenix Wright we're talking about. You know, powerful abilities to be able to conquer anything. If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out that fine tomorrow. To be continued. And I think this is a good time to bookend the thing. So, the next time that we play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, we're going to be diving into the trial of the Cosmic Turnabout. And we're going to try to dissect how Clay mysteriously died. And who is this third party? Who knows? But we will certainly see. But yeah, that will do it for tonight. So I'm going to head over to the end card section of things. Here, I'm still getting used to Streamlabs and whatnot, so we didn't have any kind of donations or... Oh. Funny Stuff says, this is fine comic, but Apollo sitting in a burning house. I'm fine. I'm fine. Anyway, yeah, we didn't get any new, anybody who, subscribed to the channel or, donated anything. We did have a couple of people that actually did sign up for a subscription, though, off screen. So there is that. Let's see. It was Tech Wepley and Leonard Chrome. Those guys. But anyways, let me go ahead and let's head on over to that. Let me see. Oh my god, it's so confusing. I'll get used to it eventually. Eventually. Anyways, let's go to the end card. Thanks everybody for popping in. If you want to take a look at this after it's done, I'm going to be uploading it to the YouTube channel. Again, at least 24 hours after the stream, since I'm a Twitch affiliate. But yeah, I got a backlog to work on anyways, thanks to the fact that I was sick and couldn't work on anything. So that's going to be happening at some point when I get around to it. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays, all of them starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, if you want to know some more information about some other stuff I'm doing. Oh, here's a little heads up, by the way. Next Saturday, I may or may not be moving the Phoenix Wright stream to Sunday. So just a big ol' heads up for you. Because, and the reason why, is because I might be able to pull together another Jackbox stream on Saturday. So, if you're up for joining that, that's going to be happening in a week. So, I don't know, maybe mark your calendars if you're up for it. The last one was extremely fun, and I'd love to see some people jump in and join up. Oh, especially considering the fact that I'm going to make it a little bit more open for people to join. You know, it's not going to be through the Discord. Instead, I'm going to be bringing in, main friends. Just the main posse, and then I'm going to be opening it up for anybody who's watching the stream. So that's different. So I hope to see you there if you're going to join up. Some other stuff that I got going on. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing next Sunday. I don't there's a part of me that feels like I kind of want to play Smash, but I also I kind of want to ease back into things. And the whole setup with the Switch and the remote system, I got to work out some bugs with it, as well as just I don't feel like doing anything that complicated tomorrow. So I might just go ahead and do something else. Maybe I might jump into a new game, honestly. Or Maybe I'll play a little bit of Slime Rancher. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I'm up for playing. What else? I mean, that's basically everything that I need to talk about here. All right. Well, I'm gonna take off here. I need to go make myself some foods. All right. Thanks for coming out. See you next time.